Hi, my name is Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Beleaf Mel.
And we're here with episode 21 of
How Married Are You?
So, it's time for Chocolate Baby story time. You got one, babe?
I
got one. What do you think?
Okay.
So, I have been trying to avoid something for a very long time, but today I've come to the realization that I cannot avoid it any longer, and that is potty training Anaya.
Yeah.
Homegirl. Now, my friend told me that when she watched the kids that Anaya had done this. But I think this was the first time she's actually done it to me intentionally and like been having whatever. But Anaya brought up to me a diaper and basically told me to change her diaper. And she had full on pooped and like done the whole 9. But y'all, I got an even worse story than this. The other day, I was on the phone with my friend, just talking to her, and I had Anaya set up watching Sesame Street while I was getting a few chores done, and Glen and the boys went out skateboarding. And so we were just hanging out. I was on the phone, and all of a sudden, I turn around and I see my daughter, who is literally butt naked. She has on a shirt, but she's like from the waist down naked. And I'm like, oh, did you just want to air out or whatever? And so my friend's like, you should go see what that's about. And then, so I just decided, well, oh wait, let me go back and follow the trail that she came. Y'all, she had full on pooped, took the diaper off. The diaper, you know how I don't know if this is TMI, but you know how sometimes you just take your pants and underwear off at the same time and then the leg goes through the underwear? That's exactly the situation that I encountered when I got back to where Anaya was watching Sesame Street. The pant leg was through the poopy diaper. There was poop all over the diaper. And then there was like juice. It was like stop it. It was like she had diarrhea juice. And then I went to her and she had poop on her toes. I was like, oh man, this is all bad. I was on the phone. I was like, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. But it was not a good look. But yeah. I think that she's trying to tell us, and she's been trying to tell us for a while, that she wants to use.
Go ahead.
Why are you?
She hasn't been saying that to me. She's never given me. She's telling you.
She's always trying to go on the potty. She's always like pee, 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 and pointing at the toilet. And you know you've experienced it because I've seen it happen. Don't try to just put it on me.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's
Anyway, the truth is Glen has potty trained both of our other kids.
Facts.
Because he was home with them. And now I'm home. And so...
But you used to come home and sabotage me.
I used to come home and try to keep up with what you had going on.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You tried to come through and put your own spin on it.
Okay, whatever. So, anywho, now I'm going to be the... What do you call it? Main parent potty training, and so I'm a little bit nervous about this. I don't know what this is going to look like, but it's going down.
Yeah, I guess my story time would be...
And she's not even 2 yet.
Yeah, so...
Sorry.
I can't avoid this conversation either.
Uh-oh.
Theo has officially been wondering and trying to figure out how he got into his mother's belly.
Oh.
And so... He's been like, so how did... And I'm just like, so what do you think? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you should...
Yeah, and so like it's about that time to have the first, like, you know, this is where babies come from.
G-rated version.
Yeah, it's all G-rated. You know, like let's not, you know, act like it's anything wrong with saying penis, vagina, and all that stuff.
But you're not going to go tell my child that you put a penis into a vagina and then all that. You're not going to do that.
Why is it your child now?
That's my child.
Oh, okay, let's do this. Are you willing to have the conversation?
Yeah, if it means it's going to be a more G-rated version of the conversation. So as long as
you can be in control. So you don't trust me that I would...
I don't want... Here's the thing. Theo is already an exploratory little kid. He's already one of those kids that's like, my mom and dad kiss. Why don't I go kiss? somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I don't want you to tell him that you put the penis in the vagina and then he's over somebody's house and tries to figure it out.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going in. I have to have a conversation with my son. That's all I'm saying. He's really been trying to figure it out. He's like, so why, how did...
I know today he was talking to me and he's like, so does the baby look up at you? And then he was like doing all these kinds of facial expressions. I'm like, what are you talking about?
He's trying to figure out what the baby's doing right now.
Yeah.
And how the baby got in there.
But he honestly is probably the most attentive to the baby in my belly. Like he, when we go to bed at night, gives the baby a hug and a kiss on each side of my belly, just like he does me.
Yeah.
So.
Nobody else cares. I care, but I don't kiss the baby.
You don't, babe.
I don't.
Maybe because my belly isn't big enough yet.
It's enough of them around. I catch one of them on the cheek.
So.
Yeah. So. Words of affirmation?
Words of affirmation. We don't have none, y'all. So we need you to be calling us and leaving us.
I have words of affirmation.
No, but.
I have words of affirmation.
Actually, we have a.
For you. No, for you.
Oh, you want to affirm me, babe?
I want to affirm us.
Oh.
This is how you do words of affirmation.
Okay.
What we're going to do right here is go back.
Hi, my name is Glen from San Diego, California. I just want to tell you that I really enjoy doing this with you. I think this podcast is one of the most important things that we've accomplished this year. I love the fact that you saw it in me.
Freak, y'all, and you don't stop. To the beat, y'all, and you don't stop. A freak, y'all, and you don't stop. To the beat, y'all, and you don't stop. A freak.
Saw it in me to invest and ask other people to invest in this by way of sending me to the Boys Con, the KMP Boys Con. And I promise that all the people that listen to this podcast will definitely get what they put into it. You know, if any of them who did support it does listen. I think this is a great way for us to spend our time, and this will probably be the thing that I look back on and am grateful most of in this season of our life. And that's it.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Henry, for those words of affirmation.
Boom.
Did y'all hear that voice? It was sexy, deep, and all that goodness.
Sexy,
chocolatey
deep,
smooth.
Chocolatey smooth. And this is on the family section of podcasts. Just FYI.
I don't know. Are we in the right
I
category?
don't think so.
What category is there? There's no I don't even know.
Yeah.
And now, okay.
Yeah.
So it's 2019.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. For your New Year's gift, our gift of appreciation to you is we decided to put up all of last season's episodes on YouTube.
Boom.
We officially have a YouTube channel, and it is called, you guessed it, How Married Are You? So make sure you go subscribe, watch, like, comment, and share. Do all that good stuff.
It's really good because you get to see the expressions and the little quirks we have.
Sometimes I give them a look and I don't make a noise that indicates what that look was, you know?
Yeah.
So you just want to watch it. So think about the episode that you liked the most so far. Go watch it or go share it on Facebook, because not everybody is into this whole podcast scene. I honestly was not into podcasts until we started our own podcast.
Word.
Now I'm just listening to a bunch of podcasts and I really enjoy it. So share a video on Facebook, share a video on Instagram, let your people know that we are out here and we are just talking up a storm and that they should check us out. Some people are more inclined.
Talking up a storm? What is that?
I'm just talking. Exactly. That's what it is. I'm just talking. Can I just talk? I'm not as smooth of a talker as you. My vocabulary is not as extensive as you, Mr. Poet.
They're talking up a storm over there at How Married Are You podcast. You might want to go over there and check it out.
All right. So moving on, just share it, because some people are more inclined to watch than they are to listen. So yeah, just share. Just share.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
That's all I want to say.
Take it easy.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to jump into the topic for this episode. And
we officially are in season 2, but it's not really, we're not going to say season 2. We're not going to start over with the counting, but this is the second year we're doing the podcast because it's 2019. So season 2. I just wanted to say that because I'm proud.
Yes, we are calling 2019 season 2 and we'll call 2020 season 3. Anyway, so it's a new year, y'all. And so at the beginning of the year, a lot of people do things like set resolutions, goals, all kinds of things. But one of the things that we want to talk about that we do is we pick a word for the year. And I'm really excited about our word this year. But let me just go back to last year's word. What was last year's word, babe?
Gratitude.
Gratitude. I thought it was a great word. And I think it was a very fitting word for our year. I asked Glen today, I was like, hey, so how do you think having that as our word impacted your year? And your response?
I think I said, I don't know.
You said it was in the back of your head, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it was like always reminding myself to be thankful. Like it was on our vision little, I don't know what that is.
It's a vision board.
It's a vision board, but it's in a frame. So I feel like it should be called a poster.
What? If it was not in a frame, it would be called a poster.
Yeah.
What are you saying? You envision it as like a bulletin board type thing?
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
So anyway, yeah, we had goals this year.
That might be fun for this year.
We put a bunch of stuff on this vision board, and gratitude is the big word on there. And so I was always reminded to be grateful when things would happen. And I hope I did a good job. But this year I'm way more excited for this word because it's definitely...
All right, don't say the word yet. Sorry, go ahead.
Because it's definite like application to this word. So, yeah.
And I think there was application to last year's word too.
How do you show gratefulness?
Oh my gosh.
How do you show gratefulness? How do you show gratitude? I'm grateful.
So, okay. Sorry, that was so bad. Can you edit that out?
No, that's staying in there because you're petty and childish.
No, babe, you're petty and you're childish. Who are you to talk? Oh my gosh.
I've never.
Can I? Okay, babe, let's not. Okay, here we go. So, what was I even saying? Okay, so for me, gratitude is more of an attitude. And I even we had a whole hashtag. Go ahead and look up it. Hashtag gratitude, spelled with 2 T's, 2K18. That was our hashtag for the year. Glenn didn't really use it, but I did.
I didn't even know we had that hashtag.
Well, we have a hashtag for this year. Did you see it?
No.
Oh my god.
Why wouldn't you tell me? That should be in the family meeting.
Okay, we haven't finished our vision board for this year yet, so we'll...
You haven't started it. Newsflash.
We haven't started it. Oh my gosh. Anyways, gratitude is more of an attitude that I feel like I had. And the cool thing about the whole vision board thing is there would be days when I'd be laying down in bed, because the vision board is kind of like right in front of our bed type situation, which is not very cute, but it's still there. And it was a good reminder to have. But I would look at the word some days and I'd be like, oh yeah. Like, there's so much to be grateful for. No matter how rough the day was or, how much I may have wished I was in a classroom teaching or whatever, I am grateful that I have an opportunity to be home with these kids. You know what I mean? In the trenches. Not the trenches. Dang, I just need to widen my vocabulary. Anyway.
The sewer.
I'm just grateful. It was just more of an attitude. It helped to shift my thinking. I feel like it helped my, I wouldn't say it totally affected my mental health. It didn't make me totally mentally healthy, but it did help me sometimes to fight against low emotions, if that makes sense. And, yeah, so that was our word last year.
Yeah.
And our word this year, do you want to do a drum roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Our word, huh? Oh, you're going to insert a drum roll? You're not going to do... He hates that I just did that. Anyways, drum roll, please. Our word this year is... Oh, we should play a song. Isn't there a song that goes... Da, da, da? Oh, that's the wrong song.
Go ahead. I want to see how long it takes you to figure out what song this is.
Anyways. And the word is...
Celebrate.
Babe, you are not enthusiastic about that
Babe.
word. It is 11:36
And I
p.m.
did
y'all.
and so my goal this year. So the word of the year is celebrate.
Yay!
Okay.
Woo!
All right. And so what that means for me is that I get to be. I get to outwardly express what I'm grateful for, which is more of an application to gratefulness. Gratefulness is very hard for me to actually show gratitude, but just kind of like try to like be positive, you know, and thankful. And I feel like thank you isn't even like a strong enough word to show appreciation, but by celebrating things and celebrating people, I feel like I can actually show how I'm grateful for people by encouraging them, celebrating them, and like just being excited for the things that they're excited about. So that's what I'm really excited about this year, because I do a terrible job at celebrating anything. Anything that happens in my life, I just want to be like, cool, on to the next one. Let's move forward. We can't mess up the momentum. But this year, I really want to take time to more I think it'll be easier for me to celebrate myself if I'm already celebrating other people. It just become natural. Today I celebrated someone, my first person I celebrated for the year today, and it was big for me. And what was crazy that I celebrated this person and they reacted. And usually people are so not used to be celebrating them that they cry usually when I do stuff like this. And so this person had a very strong reaction to what I had to say. You know, I don't know if they cried, but they did crying emojis, and they were like, yo, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this never really happens to me. And you know what's crazy? It felt really good. Like, it felt like, oh, man, that was awesome. I can't wait to do it again. Who else can I celebrate? And I was like, whoa, Glenn, whoa. Don't get ahead of yourself. One a day, you know. But I honestly feel like if I keep this up, then it'll be something that just turns into me not putting, like, one person on my list a day, but just always being celebratory. So,
yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, December 23rd, 2018, to be exact, our pastor preached a sermon. He's been preaching on a sermon series called Finishing Strong. He actually finished a sermon series, but that was the sermon in a sermon series. And it was talking about celebrating others and celebrating the small things. And one of the things that he said in his sermon was, he was like, celebration is our ability to pour out the memory of what is good. And he also went on to say, on the flip side of that, we also have the ability to pour out our memory of everything that is bad. And I think a lot of times we will like think about the things that aren't going well in our lives, and we'll kind of just get stuck there. And so what his sermon to me reminded me about was just, there are little things the little things also deserve to be celebrated. And when he was preaching the whole sermon, like, I was there by myself. I had given the kids to my mom and my brother, and Glen was home working, and I went to church by myself. And I was like, man, Glen really needs to be here, because celebration is not something that comes natural to him. Like, whenever I'm like, okay, we need to have a party for this, or we need to do that or whatever, he's like, no, we're going to lose momentum, blah, blah, blah.
and I don't like the attention. And
yeah. And so.
And I also have a hard time being like showing gratefulness. So when people show up, thank you so much for coming. I'm so happy you're here. You know what I mean? And I feel like a robot or something. But go ahead. I don't want to.
Yeah. And so basically, I just thought celebration is such a good word for us, because while we aren't where we want to be, we've made progress. Like, we
came a long way.
And I was going to say that, but the last time I said that, you were like, really, babe? Really?
No, it's been crazy.
We've come, guys, like, I quit my job. Glen David Henry went from making $500 a month when I first met him to now providing for our family. Like, this 2018, I didn't bring home not a dime. Not a dime.
A little bit. The Dosh.
Oh my gosh, I got $100.
Okay.
And did I do any Tula photo shoots this year?
You did. Yeah, you did a few of those.
I did a couple of those for like $100, y'all. But if I brought home any money, it probably was no more than $500 the whole year. Glen is killing it. He's working his butt off. He's putting in so much work and energy into Beleaf in Fatherhood. And we are not where we want to be necessarily, but we have come such a long way. The quality of his videos is increasing. The just dynamic of him is awesome. Like, he's someone that I literally admire and look up to. Like, I want to be Glen Henry when I grow up, because he's awesome. Anyways, he's so wise, and y'all know that because you've been listening to the podcast. But what was I saying? Yeah, and I just think that there's so much to celebrate, and it's okay to, like, Pat, he was preaching from Zechariah 4:10, or he was preaching from Zechariah chapter 4. But there's one scripture that I'm just going to read out loud. It says, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin, to see the plumb line in Zerubbabel's hand." And so what he was talking about is, he was like, before there's a temple, there's a plumb line, you know? And so I feel like right now, like, we have a vision for what we're trying to accomplish with Beleaf in Fatherhood, with the How Married Are You podcast, with our family. And we're not necessarily all the way there yet, but I feel like we've been putting down some plumb lines and some bricks, and we're building. And I feel like it's okay to celebrate the bricks along the way, because a lot of times we wait to arrive to the finish line, or we wait for the final product to celebrate, but it's just, we can be celebrating along the way. Yeah. And so because that's not something that Glen naturally does, I'm super excited about this word, like this being our word this year. And I'm super excited to be able to remind him about our word for the year. Yeah. I just intend for us to be like you said, gratitude. We're taking gratitude to the next level, and we are outwardly expressing our gratitude via celebration. And I think, Pat, sorry, am I rambling? Am I talking fast? I feel like I'm talking fast. Another thing he said, dang it, he talked about it being a muscle, like celebration being a muscle that he had to exercise in order for it to become more naturally. So kind of like Glen was saying, how he would have to choose one person a day to celebrate or whatever.
Well, he was talking about how he was running the triathlon, and how he was getting to the point where he was going, and he was getting tired, and he felt like he wasn't going to make it, and his mind started to doubt him. Mm-hmm. And so he didn't think he was going to finish the race, and so he kept seeing people pass him. And then he started to celebrate those people. Mm-hmm. So he was celebrating people around him who were ultimately doing better for him, mm-hmm. not for the benefit of those people, but really for him to change his attitude. Yeah. And it ended up being one of his fastest times in a race, because he started to get the momentum that they were getting.
Dude, Glen just reminded me of something that I've been dealing with this past week. So, you know how, like, we're living in the age of Instagram. And I'm just going to say Instagram because that's mostly the social media network that I use. But on Instagram, you get to see people posting this, that, and the other. And you're like, oh, man, like, why are they having this happen to them? And why can't I have that happen to me or whatever? And I deal with that thought process more often than I'd like to admit. But this whole sermon, or our word for the year, is actually helping me to change the way that I am interacting with those encounters, if that makes any sense. Like, if I see someone doing something that I wish I could have been doing or whatever, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Like, that's so great that they have this opportunity, or that's so great that they're getting the recognition that they deserve, that they've worked hard for. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's less of me being jealous or envious of what they have, and it's more of me being like, yes, good for you. Like, good for you. And I've already seen that transition of thought happening within me, and it's only I don't even know what day of the year it is, but it's not more than, what day is today? The third day. It's only the third day of January. You know what I mean? And so I already really love this word. I'm very enthusiastic about it. And so,
Yeah, I'm choosing to be extra about it. Like, I'm going to oversell it so I can sell it to myself, you know, because it's something so unnatural to me that I'm just going to choose to be about that word for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, we just wanted to come on here. We wanted to share with you how we've been choosing a word for each year. And we want to encourage you guys, if you haven't already, to maybe think about with your spouse, like what your word is. What can you guys be holding each other accountable to as a unit, as a family? I also have a personal word for myself that I feel like the Lord gave to me. But for our family, I definitely think celebrate is the word. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
babe. So how married are you?
Yeah, babe. So how married are you?
Baby, you've been getting on my nerves. You have. This isn't a part of the celebrating thing. I just want to say, you've been getting on my nerves.
What did I do?
You just been on it.
Is that how married you are?
I'm explaining it.
Oh my gosh.
And I haven't been showing it to the full capacity. But it's been hard, man.
You haven't given me kisses.
Today we were getting ready for this podcast.
What did I do?
And she's just kind of putting around. No sense of urgency.
Guys.
She forgot this. She forgot
Babe, you
that.
always be telling stories and you don't tell the first part of the story. Tell the first part of the story.
We weren't going to do the podcast today.
Okay.
We weren't going to do the podcast, but we were like, I got out of the shower. I was like, yo, we need to go ahead and do this podcast. Cause I'm kind of...
Yeah, he got out of the shower. I was already nestled in my room doing whatever it is I was doing. And now he all of a sudden has all this momentum and he's like, oh, we're going to do a podcast.
Yeah, and she was like, okay, go out there and set it up. Go ahead and set it up and I'll get ready or whatever. So I come out here, I set it up. It takes like really fast.
Actually,
usually,
it was quicker than usual.
Way faster than usual. Usually it takes about 45 minutes to do it. But this time it was like everything was already set up. So she's in there and she's like putting her head wrap on.
I was trying to decide if I was going to wear a head wrap. I was just like, okay, maybe I should put on the head wrap, put my hair up or whatever. But then I put the head wrap on and I was like, I don't really feel this right now.
Yeah, so at first I go in and look at her. She's putting the head wrap on. Cool. Come back out. Mind you, it's cold out here. Then I go back in. And then she's doing something else. And then she's like, I'm going to make some coffee. You want some coffee? I'm like, cool. Go down and get the coffee. Come back up. She don't got her glasses. I got her glasses. I give her glasses. The glasses are dirty. I'm like, go get the wipes.
Okay, babe.
So anyway,
yeah,
she has been
unproductive. No,
unproductive.
No.
That's a very good word.
No.
She has been unproductive.
Your rambling is unproductive.
And I have been bathing in it. And that's just how married I am. No. Babe, how married are you?
I'm so married that I'm going to plan us a baby moon. Because I love you that much. And I know that the dynamics of our family is about to change with 4 kids. And it's so needed. And I know that you have a hard time going away on vacation and just doing nothing. But you're going to love it. It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
And that's just how married we are.